Hey, you guys, F.R.S. here, James, Nick. We're doing a series on how to strengthen your punches, right? If you want to strengthen your hips in a punch, very often getting against one of these bags here, yeah, and pushing, yeah, pushing, okay? Here's where you can't go wrong, and Nick just called me out on this. I was leaning over while pushing, okay? Nick, explain to them what happens when you lean into your punches.
Sure, so you do get a little more reach and everything, but you're compensating your power because the rotation is what generates the power. And if I start compromising by leaning forward, now my rotation no longer has a clean arc. And so instead of my hook coming around like this, it's actually coming around and up into the shoulder rotator cuff rather than having a bone structure alignment.
Yeah, you're going to create issues with the AC joint. He's right. It's all off. You're over your front foot. That's a recipe for disaster if you're against a skilled fighter. Yeah, I mean, if I lean in, yeah, he owns me, right? He could knee me in the head, come down. I'm all my weight's on this leg, and then he can take it out. I'm done, right? So it's good. And here's one of the things I see people do. You want to keep your chin down. Very often we mistake chin down for leaning forward. You may see with boxers, they might lean forward a little bit, but they don't have to worry about knees and things like that. But when they're doing it, they're still keeping even distributed weight.
And when you do see the professionals leaning forward and they're throwing it, they're compensating their power and their perfect technique in order to land the punch. So we always want to train with the proper form and the proper technique, and then to get it to land, we can sacrifice just enough to make that land. So instead of training like this, and then every time I throw this, if he's close to me, there's no reason I should be bringing my head down. But if he slides back as I'm going, sure, I may compensate a little bit because he's moving backwards in order to get the punch to land. So professionals, sure, but as you're training, always try to get that proper form.
In professionals, at a point in anybody's career, when you hit a certain point of mastery, you're allowed to break the rules, right? You're allowed to compromise your form. You're allowed to do things outside of what you're taught because you're that good and you've been doing it long enough, right? Guys like me, I don't get to make those choices. I don't get to break the rules because I get served up if I do, all right? Nick, on the other hand, he probably could break the rules and get away with it. All right, F.R.S. power. Thanks, you guys.